FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
How would libertarians, for example, frame their position on an issue such as marriage between persons of the same sex? There are several questions about that, and I would like to follow up in a moment after you answer that one.
All right. I'm not sure about framing, but I can tell you what I think. And I think it's fair for libertarians to come at this from different points of view. My preference as a libertarian is to denationalize as many things as possible, to move them into the private sector. So I wrote an article in Slate magazine 10 years ago saying privatize marriage. Marriage is a religious contract for many people. It's a civil contract. I'm not sure why it has to be a governmental contract. Why does there have to be a one-size-fits-all marriage law? Let's just make it private. You make the arrangements you want to. You get a church to approve, if your church approves of your marriage, and leave the government out of it. While we have the government involved, then I think it's fair to say that we should have legal equality, we should have equal protection of the law, and therefore I think just as it was appropriate to strike down the ban on interracial marriage, it is appropriate to extend marriage to any two adults of opposite sexes or the same sex. That seems to me marriage equality. I will say, I think the argument from a libertarian perspective is clearer that we ought not to have the federal government make this decision. Marriage has always been a matter for the states, and I'm happy to leave it that way. If I were in California or Virginia, as I was a couple of years ago voting, I would vote that marriage ought to be equally available to all adults.